technologists, or should I say readers. This week we are heading downstream to the letter R for reading. Today we will be venturing into the children's book, The Invention of Hugo Cabret, by author and illustrator Brian Selznick. So don't worry, there is no reading assignment you had to complete in advance. Instead, we will be exploring some of the inventions that come together to create a very special, one-of-a-kind children's book. At the end of this video, you will even get the opportunity to create a fun little invention of your own that I enjoyed making as a kid and still do. And so, the PRPL Learning Lab from Home is proud to present Silent Films, Automatons, and the Invention of Hugo Cabret, starring author and illustrator Brian Selznick and filmmaking magician George Méliès. So I invite you to turn your imaginations on, and to quote George Méliès himself, "Come dream with me." First, you may have noticed that this episode is in black and white. This effect pays homage to the fact that silent films were likewise filmed in black and white. They also intertitle cards, like this one, could be added to the film for character dialogue, sound effects, like the classic bang or gasp, and to narrate parts of the story. The first color films had to be painted by hand. Imagine trying to hand paint each of these tiny frames. Though a book, The Invention of Hugo Cabret fittingly harnesses a silent movie style in order to tell the tale of a young orphan boy named Hugo, who is trying to unravel the mystery inside of an invention his father left behind. Along the way, he discovers that this mystery is interconnected to the life of the famous filmmaker George Méliès. Take a look at the silent movie-style opening pages of the book.
Your attention, please. Now departing track 17. Now departing track 17.
From his perch behind the clock, Hugo could see everything. He rubbed his fingers nervously against the small notebook in his pocket and told himself to be patient.
As you just saw, the author's storytelling style is just as much an invention as the historic invention he writes about. With 284 hand-drawn illustrations, the book reads a lot like a silent film, alternating between black and white illustrations and short chunks of text, which are like the intertitle cards of a silent film. This book had a real impact on children's literature, receiving the prestigious Caldecott Award, but perhaps more notably, the book also helped struggling and reluctant readers experience the magic of reading. Speaking of magic, one of the most magical characters in the story is the filmmaker George Méliès. He is the video-making genius who came up with such video effects as time-lapse videos, backwards videos, and even disappearing. Keep in mind, young readers, that this was all before Photoshop and other computer-generated special effects. Another curious invention involved in the story, and one that George Méliès himself had, was the automaton. These inventions were believed to be created by clockmakers to show off their mechanical talent. This one from the story could draw pictures. But other real-life automatons could play instruments, and the most famous and well-known one was a duck that could eat, digest, and then go to the bathroom. To better understand the appeal of these inventions, let's take a look at the 2011 movie Hugo to see the automaton in action. And don't worry, it's in color and has sound. Now it is time for you to create some of this movie magic by creating a nifty little invention called a flipbook. A flipbook is a lot like a silent film in that you have a sequence of images with really tiny changes between each image or frame, so that when you flip these frames together, it will create the illusion of life. So we're not only budding readers, but also budding animators. So the only lab equipment you will need for this project are a pack of index cards, some binder clips, and a pencil. A light source, like a light box, could also come in handy because you'll be doing a lot of tracing. To create a mini movie flipbook where an object moves and appears to be coming to life and might even tell a story, draw your subject in the starting position on your first index card and gradually move the object in each frame. To create what I like to call the automaton flipbook, or the flipbook that draws itself, start by drawing the completed picture, and then on each frame you will trace over a little more and a little more of each picture until the entire drawing has been traced. Once your drawings are complete, and being extra careful to keep them in order, you're gonna take the binder clip and you're just gonna clip them all together on the spine. And now you have a completed flipbook. We would love to see your completed flipbooks, so as always, please send a video of your creation to kbertusi@pearlriverlibrary.org. Great work today, readers. This episode we made our brains bigger today by learning that 1. Silent films and automatons are fascinating inventions from our past that continue to amaze. 2. We will now go out into the world with the knowledge of how to make a flipbook, which is a lot like a silent film. And 3. We learned that author Brian Selznick masterfully ties all of this history and these inventions together in his graphic novel, The Invention of Hugo Cabret, which is in itself an invention worth checking out. Literally. To really experience the silent film effect of the story, I would recommend checking out a physical copy of the book. Our library does have a lot of copies, but if you're looking to purchase the book through Amazon, I'd like to take a moment to spotlight the friends of the Pearl River Library, who have created a charity page on the website smile.amazon.com, or Amazon Smile. For those of you who use Amazon regularly, Amazon Smile has the same products and the same prices. The only difference is that when you go to check out, 0.05% of your purchase will be donated to the Friends of the Pearl River Public Library. So all you have to do is go to the website instead of Amazon.com, go to smile.amazon.com, and select the charity Friends of the Pearl River Library. Well, something else worth checking out on the Pearl River Library website is canopy.com. Here you can find free movies. If you search for George Méliès, you will find a lot of some of his silent films, in addition to some documentaries about the very interesting and magical life he led. For Hugo fans, you'll be happy to hear that Selznick has written 2 other books in this same illustration style, Wonderstruck and The Marbles. In 2011, the movie Hugo was created based off of the book, and for those of you who enjoy learning about the history of cinema, some fun family movies to check out are Singing in the Rain, where you'll see how silent films were made, as well as The Wizard of Oz to see what the first color films looked like. So, next week we will be heading downstream to the letter E for engineering, where we will be creating a little invention of our own. To close with a cartoon joke of the day this week, we have a film strip eating goat thinking, "This movie is good, but the book was better." Cue the laughter. Great work, readers! From Studio B, that's a wrap!